Sometimes skeptics of Orthodox Christianity will raise the concern that while John's gospel seems to have a high Christology, a high view of Jesus as the divine Son of God, that the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, have a comparatively low Christology, a low view of Jesus. My contention is that the synoptic gospels actually have just as high a Christology as John's gospel, but it seems more subtle to us, particularly because of our unfamiliarity with the Old Testament. Oftentimes, the synoptic gospels are taking Old Testament portraits and pictures of who God is and then applying them to Jesus. One example of this is in Mark 6, when Mark tells the story about Jesus walking on the water. When Jesus comforts his disciples who think he's a ghost, Jesus takes to himself the divine name. He says, "Take courage, go eimi, I am. Do not be afraid." He's using the divine name from Exodus 3:14, but even more subtle than this, he's taking to himself pictures of God from the Old Testament. Mark tells us that he intends to pass by them, which is a reference back to Job 9 that talks about God trampling on the waves of the sea, and that he passes me by and I do not see him. He moves on, but I do not perceive him. And this is also a callback to Psalm 77, which talks about God's way being through the sea, his path being through the great waters, and yet his footprints being unseen. Mark is intentionally taking the pictures of the God of the Old Testament and applying them to Jesus.